Remember as a kid waking up early on Saturdays without a care in the world, school was done for the week, and all you wanted to do was watch some Yu-Gi-Oh! Well, in this series, both House of Champs and myself are bringing back one of our favorite childhood pastimes. Each episode will be picking new decks to bring to the table in a best 2 out of 3 for some good old wholesome Yu-Gi-Oh! Fun. Saturday morning Yu-Gi-Oh! Is back, ladies and gentlemen, because this is Yu-Gi-Oh! Sealed Saturdays. If you want 5% off any singles or sealed product, click the affiliate links in the description and use code CIMOOOOO5. And clicking the TCG Player affiliate link before you shop helps support us to provide you with more amazing content. Last episode was a ton of fun. I think both John and I got to relive some of our childhood memories, and that's what the series is all about, right? So we are now moving on to the Wind and Earth structure decks, which are sort of notoriously known for being some of the worst structure decks ever. It's good from like the reprint perspective if maybe you're new to the game or something like that, but back then the starter and structure decks weren't like how they are now, that you were going to be getting a playable deck right out of the box. And you can kind of tell by some of the cards we're having to play in this deck that is the case, although this actually doesn't look that bad in the grand scheme of things. Thankfully, we do have 3 of each of these decks to be working with. So I am going to be playing the Wind structure deck for this episode. Now let's go ahead and do the card by card. So first up, we have 3 copies of Birdface. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to grave, we can add a Harpy Lady to hand. So it does replace itself. It's also a 1600 attack and defense, which is one of the highest stat lines I actually have in this deck. So I figure this card's actually okay. I'm playing 3 copies of Flying Kamakiri #1 and 1 copy of Bladefly. I think this may actually be my ace in the hole because this card's actually not bad. It makes all wind monsters gain 500 attack, but it also makes all earth monsters lose 400 attack. And so the reason why I like this is that Flying Kamakiri can float into this at the end of a battle chain, and that way we can then establish something that can most likely hit over whatever John has, and then Bladefly is going to be buffing our stuff, and if John doesn't get rid of that, it's going to be a problem for him. So I kind of like this one of here. We'll see how this plays out, but maybe it's just a bit idealistic. We've got 3 copies of Harpy Lady #1. Flying Kamakiri can float into this, and it gives all wind monsters 300 attack, not just Harpies, it's all wind. And so that means Birdface goes up to 19, Flying Kamakiri becomes 17, Slate Warrior goes to 22, which is pretty massive. And so out of all the Harpy Ladies, I figure this one's the best one, that's why we're maxing out on it. 2 copies of Sylphie. Now, this card isn't that good, but I do like it because it's a 1700 monster that we can actually special summon because it's like a spirit monster where we banish a wind, but it also is just a monster we contribute for Swift Birdman Joe. So the fact we don't need to already have a monster on the field, I kind of like this as a 2 of. Slate Warrior is also just kind of crazy because he's a 1900. If it's destroyed by battle, the monster loses attack and defense. And also, we could just set this turn 1, and if John doesn't respect it, we could flip it up, and it's a 2400 attacker, 27 with Harpy Lady 1. That's pretty nasty. We've also got 3 copies of the man himself, Swift Birdman Joe. Now, Rock from the Valley of Haze is 100 attack bigger, but it doesn't really have a relevant effect. Swift Birdman Joe, however, is basically Giant Trunade when it's summoned, and that is well worth the cost of 100 attack points. John does have a Sphinx monster that can kill over this. However, I think having Giant Trunade and making sure that this card's actually going to stay around is much more important than that 100 attack differential. If not, we can just side in the rocks. We'll see how it goes. And 3 Sonic Duck, probably the best normal summon aside from Slate Warrior that we have, rounding out our monsters. For the spells, 3 Harpy's Hunting Ground. This card's cool because it buffs all winged beasts by 200 attack and defense. Wish it was wind, but you know, we'll take what we can get. And also, if we do normal or special summon a Harpy monster, we'll be able to pop a back row on the field. We only have 3 Harpies, but it's, you know, it's an okay card. We'll see how it works. If not, we can always just side deck it out. We've got a bunch of 1-ofs in the form of Heavy Storm, Lightning Vortex, and Mystical Space Typhoon. Nobleman of Crossout is semi-limited, so we're still going to be playing 2 of it. And then the traps, there's actually a lot of them. 1 Call of the Haunted, triple Dust Tornado, triple Icarus Attack. This is going to be the card that basically just takes our deck over the top, because anytime one of our monsters is threatened, our winged beast monsters specifically, we can just Icarus it away and take out 2 of John's cards as well. So this is going to be our ultimate problem solver, and it's going to be hard for John to play against this, especially since his deck is a little bit slower with a bunch of defensive focused monsters. I have the Reckless Greed in here as well. I've learned from these formats just being able to see more cards is typically pretty good, so I have it in here as pretty much the 40th card. And triple Sakuretsu armor is actually very nice, so I'm happy to have access to this kind of removal. For the side deck, I actually have another Blade Fly because I think this might actually be pretty good, and so we'll see how it plays out. I might side another one in. I have Harpy Lady Sisters and Elegant Egotist. I wish we could play more of the Harpies, but we really can't, but I just kind of didn't really have anything else to side deck, so I threw this in here. Lady Ninja Yay is kind of cool because we can pitch a Wind Monster and Giant Trunade the field. It's a weak monster, though. We could play the Ninjutsu transformation card, but I don't know. I think that's a bit optimistic. You're going to pull all of that at once, and so I have it in the side depending on what strategy John goes with. Some rock from the Valley of Haze to be able to replace the Swift Birdman Joe if the attack value does in fact matter. Another copy of Sylphied if we need more monsters to special summon. Card destruction is sort of similar to Reckless Greed, where if we're in a situation where we can't out something John has, we want to see more cards, and so even if it comes at a minus, if we're swapping 3 cards for 3 fresh cards, I think that's better than just sitting there not being able to do anything, even if it does possibly help him out as well, because we're both going to be discarding. And then 3 copies of Magic Jammer. Honestly, I don't know if this card's ever going to come up, but to be fair, Magic Jammer is a pretty decent card because some of the spells in these decks are just crazy. But before we get into the duels, of course, we have to spin the Wheel of Random Events. Let's see how the wheel's going to fare for us this time. A lot of fun stuff we can hit. Let's see what it's going to be. Oh no, not this again! We received fake cards from the family. We have to replace a random card in our deck.
What's good, Cimoooooooo's channel, and welcome to the deck list. The Wind and the Earth structure decks are 2 of the worst ever printed, as highlighted by DZF in one of his series, but when it comes to a sealed format where they're going head to head, should be a bit interesting to play out. We're starting with 3 giant rats, a floater that will allow me to go into my Pac-Man cards. Pac-Man cards are these cards that can flip themselves back face down, and each time they flip up, they have an interesting effect, but here in the structure deck format, I don't have a lot to protect them, so Golem Sentry is going to have to protect himself with that 1800 defense, and once per turn, I can flip him back to face down defense, and if it's flip summoned, so Cimo can attack to force it up, then I just flip it back down and have to decide if it comes up to attack mode. I can target a monster they control and return it to the hand. A little more dangerous is Medusa Worm, but it only has 600 defense, and if it's just flip face up, doesn't get that destruction. Once per turn, I can flip this card back down to defense position, but when it's flip summoned, you destroy a monster on your opponent's side of the field. So the gameplay is, if Cimo destroys Giant Rat, I can go into another. Should he destroy that and have no more monsters in order to go through the battle phase, I can summon this, flip it down, and then flip it back up that turn if I want, taking out one of Cimo's key monsters. 3 Gigantus should give Cimo pause with his setup in the Wind deck. I'm expecting Harpy's Hunting Ground and different kinds of back rows. Well, Gigantus, if it's destroyed by battle, you destroy all spell and traps on the field, which should give him a huge pause, or I might be able to trigger myself by going in for an attack. 3 Guardian Sphinx should be the star of the show, 2400 defense, and it's a Pac-Man-like card too, but it's a tribute summon where when it's flip summoned, I return all monsters my opponent controls into their hand, and with 1700 attack doing that over and over, he better find an answer. Then I have 2 Hierarcho Sphinx, which is a monster that your opponent cannot select. A face-down defense position monster is an attack continuously while this is out, protecting my Pac-Man cards and letting them do his thing until Cimo takes this out. I have 2 Stone Statue of the Aztecs. Whenever this does any battle damage, when my opponent attacks specifically, so Cimo kinda has to stop hitting yourself, he takes double the damage. And then 1 Mega Rock Dragon. If you notice, every single card here, except for Giant Rat, was a rock. You're able to remove a or multiple rock-type monsters for this card summon, and it will gain 700 per card banished by that effect. Then I get 3 Brain Control, surprisingly, during this format for my 5 tribute cards. So that does really allow me to have access to taking Cimo's resources and using them for my own, should I get to pop off that way. 3 Hammer Shot to also clear some of Cimo's highest attack monsters. 1 Space Typhoon to help me deal with Cimo's field spell I'm oh so scared of. 1 Premature Burial for revival. 1 Sword of Revealing Light, which I even argued with myself on. I'm so scared of Harpy Hunting Ground that I feel like I'm going to lose everything to it versus his summons and tempo that I questioned putting this card in for cards like Medusa Worm. I've got 3 Compulse, which can of course, chain itself to the effect of Cimoooooooo's field spell. I've got 3 magic drain as well. This counter trap should allow me to force Cimoooooooo to use his resources versus the spells he'd be activating, so I at least get a 1-for-1 out of it every time. 1 Reckless Greed, it's limited at 1 in this format. 3 Wabakoo, and then 3 Robin Goblin. This was a star for the show for Cimoooooooo of the Pegasus structure. But again, Harpy's Hunting Ground can make it very hard for me to get advantage with it outside of like a Ganthus or my field clears where I take his monster out and can make that direct attack. In the side deck, I have 2 more Medusa Worms, allowing me to be able to destroy monsters if I feel like I've overestimated that field spell. 3 Shield and Sword. I don't expect this to come in, but it would be pretty funny if it did actually help my tempo. 3 Ultimate Offering. It's at 3 in this format, but I don't think I'll see a need to side it in. Like, I have all these tribute cards, but I have the tempo and resource cards for it. More Mega Rock Dragons in case I feel the need for like a beat stick that could take care of his stuff. And then the 3rd Hyroko Sphinx if I feel like I need more tribute fodder or attack tempo. 3 Ordeal of a Traveler just for the nature of it on Cimoooooooo's channel, and also because it's a decent card. And if I do find Cimoooooooooo getting greedy in gameplay, I have that 3rd Stone Statue of the Aztecs. Now let's go ahead and roll that wheel. I've been getting destroyed by this wheel. Come on, give me something good for once. Just this one time. That's all I'm asking. One time. Cousin donated. That sounds good. 2 core packs. Let's freaking go and figure out what those are. So Enemy of Justice is released like 2 days after the structure deck actually drops. So the previous core set that should be at locals is Shadow of Infinity. So let's go ahead and open up 2 of these booster packs. So let's go ahead and flip these cards and see what I can use. Anteater Eating Ant is actually a pretty interesting card for its wording, and a tribute monster with 2000 attack. Don't think that'll come into useful. I'll have to actually stop and read some of these cards too. It's been a while. And then we'll get 1 more pack here. Go ahead and flip the cards. Another Anteater Eating Ant. Going ahead to the Ancient Gear structure. Yeah, Neo Bubble Man. It's not looking too good over here, but I'll read some of these and see if any of them are worth it. I may have been a bit harsh on my packs initially. This card fits the strategy to a T. Super Junior Confrontation. Activate only when an opponent's monster declares an attack. You negate the battle, and 1 monster with the lowest attack can face up attack position your opponent controls, battles 1 monster with the lowest defense and face up defense position you control. After that, in the battle phase, well, if something's already flipped up like Stone Statue of the Aztecs, because Cimoooooooooo can't well leave alone stuff like this, it forces a battle with his lowest attack, and I might get Robin Goblin going even faster. So while he wants to lose advantage from that 1 interaction of battle, I have a strategy where it actually can matter quite a bit in this matchup. Let's go ahead and get into those duels.
So here we are once again on random.org. We have the generator ready over here. The cards are going to be numbered 1 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 through 30, and 31 through 40. Whatever the number is, we have to replace. Please don't hit a 1 of anything. Just hit something that's not going to be inconsequential. 32. That's probably going to be a trap. 32 is a dust tornado. Well, that's actually a pretty big loss, actually. So we're going to get that out of here. I actually think I could move Magic Jammer in, which effectively is like another copy of Dust Tornado. I actually think I'd rather prefer the card destruction. I think the ability to cycle some cards may be a little bit better than Magic Jammer. We'll have to see, but I think I will also just throw in an Elegant Egotist in here as well. Again, I'm probably not going to play it, but whatever. Now we have our side deck filled up. Guys, I can't wait to see what John's going to be bringing because this is going to be a crazy matchup. So ladies and gentlemen, it's time to duel. Buddy, here we are once more, and I gotta tell you, this episode is gonna be something.
I have the worst of the Pac-Man decks. For those that don't know what Pac-Man is, the best of stuff like Swarm of Scarabs, Locust, all these cool interactions behind Gravity Bind, and these, oh wait, I don't get any of those stall cards to protect my flip monster.
No, I don't know what they were thinking when they made this deck. Like, that could have actually been a cool concept if they actually went with it. But the fact that they give you all the cards and then they're like, okay, figure out how to defend it yourself. I guess that's how they get you to buy more product. But
and you're on the worst combination of Harpy cards there can be if you're going that way.
Yeah, it's not fantastic. You know, when Bird Face is a consideration for a deck, you know we're scraping the bottom of the barrel for this episode.
Pretty much.
I think people are going to be excited for this one, though. It is still a bit of a classic just because these two decks did come out around the same time. So maybe some people experienced something like this. I know I sure as hell didn't, so I'm not looking forward to it. But it's with you, John, so I am looking forward to that.
We'll see if you erode my deck away after 1,000 years of Wind the Blowing, or if you can get a Maelstrom going here.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm ready to rock and roll, although I should be saying that if I was playing the rock deck. But let's go ahead and shout out our patron. It is Marcel Chariz. I apologize if I butchered your name. Thank you so much for the support. See if we can beat the...
You said rock. You said rock out loud.
I rolled the die, John. I didn't pick rock. The die rolled a 1.
At this point, you've given up RPS versus me, huh?
I've given up hope in that department a long time ago, but go ahead, buddy. Someone in the comments, I'm sure, is keeping track of the RPS wins. I think I've won once, maybe, in the entirety of this series, but be sure to let me know, whoever's keeping track, because I need to see it.
All right, well, I'll go ahead and set 3 cards and see how big of an impact Harpy Hunting Ground might be here.
Well, let's hope that that's the case. Anything in standby for me? Okay, I'm gonna go to main 1. Let's just start nice and easy. Let's knock the set out of here.
My good old stone statue of the Aztecs. I actually played that in my first regional top.
Oh, did you? That's interesting. Yep. Because you were playing, is that when you were playing the burn deck?
56 card burn stall.
I always love this card from the anime when the Rare Hunter played it in the Exodia deck. I don't know. There's something about this card that just looks cool. Anyway, I will go ahead and I think I'm going to T-set over here. Actually, no, screw it. I'll go ahead and throw multiple back row down. Why not? And let's go ahead and pass the turn.
All the back row. I see you. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and normal summon my giant rat here.
Aha, sure.
Let's see if you've got a Sakuretsu armor down there, or...
I do. Giant rat's a prime candidate for it, so might as well get it out now.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and pass to you.
All right, we'll go ahead and draw. Let's go into main phase 1 here, and we are going to flip summon Slate Warrior.
Oh, that is pretty big here.
Now, 2,400, a very considerable size for the format that we are in. I know that you have a couple things in your back row potentially, but you know what? Let's have some fun. I'm going to normal summon Birdface. Let's go to battle. Let's try and hit for 16.
1,600's fine.
Let's see the sack for the 2,400.
Nope, do not have it.
Ooh, interesting. All right, I'll pass the turn. Go ahead.
All right, well, I do have a little something else here in terms of strategy. I will go ahead and banish that giant rat to summon Gigantus.
Okay, he's big. 1,900's nothing to scoff at.
All right, I will then tribute Gigantus for a set monster face down.
John, are you playing Guardian fucking Sphinx? Oh my god.
It could be.
Oh no. Okay. All right. Sure.
All right. And I will go ahead and pass it on over to you who have used your double-minute crossout early.
I have. However, I have not used my Icarus attack yet.
Oh
so
my
I will
gosh.
sack the bird face, target the set, and I'm going to blindly hit one of your back row here. Let's go for this one.
Oh my gosh. Icarus is what I was scared of in this matchup too, besides...
Yeah, Icarus is crazy card. All right, let's see if we can maybe take advantage here. I'll go ahead and draw for turn. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do some banishing of my own over here, John. And I'm going to bring out a Sylphid.
Yep.
And with that, I'm going to do a very similar play and tribute the Sylphid for Swift Birdman Joe. Let's go ahead and giant Trunade the field if possible and maybe clean up this game 1.
Yep, you've got it.
Wow. Okay. All right. I can't believe Guardian Sphinx was almost about to just wreck my day.
I tried. Well, when the immovable object starts rolling downhill, it goes pretty fast, doesn't it?
Seems like it. It all started with the flipping of Slate Warrior, and that was it.
That's one of my favorite tournament pack super rares, too. See it on the other side was a little bit painful.
Yeah, it's just a fantastic card all around. But let's see if you're going to do a little bit better this time, buddy. Good luck.
Right, well,
I will tell you now, my hand is not as good as it was in game 1.
This time, I think I'm going to set quite a few cards over here and then pass to you.
All right, sure. I'll go ahead and draw for turn. That's not ideal. Anything in standby for me?
Nope, you're good.
All right, I'm going to go to main phase 1. I'm going to start with a Harpy's Hunting Ground.
I'm going to make you pay extra if you're going to keep that around.
Ooh, Magic Drain. Nah, you got me. Sure, that's fine. I have another one, so I don't care. You got another Magic Drain?
No, you're good.
Okay, and then in that case, let's go ahead and run out my Sonic Duck.
Oh, boy.
He's here to fuck, and we're going in for 19.
Oh my gosh. Well, first, actually, let me see here. Sonic Duck. So he's at 19, correct?
Correct. All winged beasts are buffed by 200, not just harpies.
I'm going to go ahead and return it to your hand.
Okay, fair play. Compulse is one of your best cards in your deck that I don't have access to. That's actually going to end my turn. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and tribute summon out the Hyroko-Sphinx.
Ooh, 2400 tribute. That's pretty strong in our format.
It'll also let my face downs do their thing, although we're just going to go in fast and hard here and summon Gigantus on the side.
Okay, sure.
So going in for battle, we're going to hit for 19.
And 24, I'll take them both.
This guy is so freaking buff.
Yeah, for real.
And it's your move.
Okay, backs are already against the wall. Not looking too good. I will go into main phase 1. I don't exactly know how we are getting out of this, if I'm being honest. I think what I probably have to do is normal summon Sonic Duck.
Sure.
I'm going to trade with the Gigantes.
Which will destroy all spell and traps on the
Correct.
field.
It is Heavy Storm.
And I lose Super Junior Confrontation.
No. Whatever will you do, John? And here's hoping you don't draw a monster with 1300 attack. Go ahead.
Well, I actually have not, so I'll go to battle and attack.
I'll take the 24.
And I'll throw down a face-down monster and end my turn.
Which is pretty scary, because with the Sphinx, I can't attack your face-down defense position monsters, and that means that their effects are actually going to be free to trigger here. Oh, this is not good. If that's a Medusa Worm, I'm probably in trouble here. I will just set and pass.
Set one pass, the classic. Well, it's not a Medusa Worm, so I have to attack.
All right, it is Birdface, and his effect will trigger to add a Harpy Lady from deck to hand. So we will grab Harpy Lady number 1.
That is fine. I see you have a deck full of Larts over there. It's your move.
All right, let's go ahead and draw.
Cimoooooooo,
Still not the best. Yeah, of course. Only the finest. I am going to set a monster, and I'll set a back row. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. I will go to battle phase and hope that's not Saku.
It's not Saku, but it is Icarus attack.
Ah, of course.
So for the Harpy Lady 1 that I just set, I'm going to pop both of your monsters.
And there goes Stone Statue of the Aztecs.
Okay. I figured if it wasn't something like Medusa Worm, it was probably just a big guy.
Yep. Your move after setting a monster.
Go ahead and draw. I will set a monster as well and throw it over.
Well, you see, this time it is indeed Medusa Worm.
Ah, okay. All right. I think I definitely misplayed there, just letting that be set.
And we've got game.
He's got game, the Medusa and the giant rat. Okay, that means we're taking it to a game 3. We got a game 3. Oh, why'd I set the Slate Warrior? I forgot that, like, I just need to always be attacking in this deck because it just the threat of it being like Medusa Worm is very punishing, and even if I take a few hundred damage, it's not worth losing to Medusa Worm, like exactly what just happened.
You would have lost if you summoned it.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Well, I'm glad you made me feel better that I was dead either way. You know, makes me feel like my plays are inconsequential. I'll go first this time though. Good luck, buddy. And this hand's not too bad. I think I'm going to go ahead and start with a good old T set and pass. Throw it over to you.
All right. well, I'm gonna go ahead and go to main phase 1 and normal summon the giant rat.
Bring him on out.
Let's see what we can take out face down.
You're not going to be taking out anything in the face of Bird Face. 1600 defense.
Oh my, how balanced. All right, well, in the main phase 2 here, I think I'm gonna do a bit of work. I'm going to set 2 cards and pass.
Okay. That's pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and Icarus attack an end phase, though.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and do this again. I'm going to go after the rat, and I'm going to go after that back row specifically.
Ooh, my one-up in this format.
Reckless Greed gone. Not too bad. Let's see if we can follow it up, though. I'll draw. It's not terrible. I'm going to go ahead and banish the bird face. You've seen this play before.
Yep.
Bring out the Sylphid, and then let's go ahead and I think I'm just going to sack him off for Swift Birdman Joe once more. Let's get him out.
All right, let me think about this.
Ooh, you got something here. Okay.
I'm going to send that back to your hand, actually.
Okay, sure. Pretty big loss in tempo there, but what can you do? I think I'm just going to pass. I'll throw it back to you.
All right. I will go ahead and activate the Premature Burial.
It's a pretty good one. Sure, going to pay
And
8.
We will have Giant Rat coming on out.
He's returned.
And unfortunately, it's not the most pressing tempo.
Giant Rat's still pretty good, though. He's going to most likely float.
I will throw down a face down, though, and in my turn.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to main 1. I'm going to knock the set.
There goes a good old stone statue of the Aztec.
He's just a magnet for the knock, it seems. How do we want to proceed here? I guess the thing I'm worried about the most is that Giant Rat can float. I don't know if there's really a lot I can do about it, if I'm being honest.
There's a surprising amount of options with him, too.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of your deck is pretty tiny. I think I'm going to go ahead and run out this Slate Warrior.
All right.
Let's just hit in for 5, and we'll go ahead and see what you get off the rat.
All right, well, off of the Giant Rat, I'm going to go ahead and summon an attack mode Medusa Worm.
Okay, so that will be able to check the Slate Warrior. That's going to do it for me, buddy. I'm just going to set one in main phase 2 and throw it to you.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and use his special ability to set himself, and go ahead and flip summon him back up to pop that Slate Warrior.
Slate Warrior is no more.
And I actually, oddly enough, played this card in my good old 2008 win. I'm going to activate Swords of Revealing Light.
Ah, there it is.
Which
yes,
combos
sir.
really well with some of these. And we're going to go battle phase and hit for 500.
I'll take the 5 with pleasure.
All right, let's see here. And since it's a soft once per turn, I believe I can activate that again. And we're going to go ahead and set another and pass.
Okay, another set is not fantastic. I will go ahead and head on over to main phase 1 here. How are we going to deal with this?
Had to make it hard for you.
Yeah, it's not easy, I'll be honest. I think I'm going to have to go for this, though. I'm going to heavy.
Ooh, taking out your own back row, too.
It's a card destruction, so I'm not super torn up about it. I'm going to special summon Sylphid. I'm going to banish the other Sylphid that's in my graveyard. And let's go ahead and... I guess I'll bring out the Birdman Joe. Might as well. You already know about it. I'm going to hit what I know is Medusa Worm.
All right.
And I'll pass turn.
Well, I've got some options here.
I don't.
Well, I think my best option, instead of giving you it back, is to just take it out.
Oh, yeah, sure.
The Buff Griffin coming on in.
You know, I did say in my deck building this 100 attack differential could matter, and here we are. Let's go ahead and draw. I'm going to just set and pass. Go ahead.
All right. Buff Sphinx coming in hot.
I've got a 3-turn clock. This will make it 2.
Well, is it a 3-turn clock? I'm going to set pass.
Ooh, that's scary. I'll draw, I'll set, and I'll pass.
All right, we're going into battle phase and hitting again.
I'll take the 24.
And I've got a set of my own. And I'll go ahead and actually tribute set.
Oh, the Sphinx is back. No! All right. In end phase, I'm going to Dust Tornado. You're set.
Well, there goes my Robin Goblin, which was the star of your Pegasus.
It was. Okay. That's not terrible. I'm going to be forced to Reckless Greed here. Heart of the Cards, guide me. Shit. Okay, so Knock is good.
Ooh!
And I'm going to set one and pass. Go ahead.
All right. And, well, I'm going for the battle phase.
Can I Icarus attack from hand, buddy?
No.
You got it. Oh, my God. If that was a winged beast that I could normal summon, that would have been such a sick comeback. I wasn't drawing for 2 turns, though. To be fair, you did draw Guardian Sphinx. What was your next draw going to be?
The next draw would be Gigantus.
I'd be dead there.
On out.
I would have been dead there 100%. Okay, well, there was hope. There was hope. That was good. That was a fun one.
I guess I solidly weathered this storm.
You did. Your performance was rock hard, buddy. But Guardian Sphinx, hell of a card. Even though I was able to always check it, the looming threat of this card, if this flips, this is just a game-ending card by itself.
Yeah, Icarus and Slate Warrior in combo were my biggest fears in here, but throughout it just developed to where I felt like also your field spell. It's just so in my head, Harpy's Hunting Ground's gonna get me. I have to be careful with my battle. Harpy's Hunting Ground's gonna get me, but it really didn't play that big of a factor here in these.
Not really, no. There's only 3 Harpies in my deck because of the way mechanical Yu-Gi-Oh works. You don't have any other options for Harpies. I guess technically I did have Harpy Lady Sisters with Egotist, but I did not decide to go that deep onto that strategy. But just the attack boost I figured was worth it from the Harpy's Hunting Ground, because being able to boost like not Sylphid, but the Sonic Duck to 19, being able to boost up Birdface to 18, that's actually pretty relevant against some of your monsters, because Golem Sentry, as an example, is 1800 defense. So Sonic Duck can actually hit over that and stop it from not only triggering, but actually just sending it to the graveyard entirely. I figured that was worth it, but sad to see it not really come up. A lot of people just know Harpy's Hunting Ground is an absolutely killer card against back row decks, and just didn't manifest. But I mean, I'm kind of sad that we didn't get to see Robin Goblin like in action, because that was what I was the most worried about in your deck, because you just have big walls, and if I hit into them, not only am I taking damage, I'm going to lose cards, and that's bad.
But yeah, the mix of also big face downs versus ones that you have to hit is a funny dynamic from Robin Goblin too. Absolutely.
Like, it forces you into this weird dynamic of, okay, well, when you have Medusa Worm and Golem Sentry, which are effectively Maneater Bug and, you know, Hane Hane respectively, except you can keep flipping them, then pick your poison. Right? Do you want to lose a card if it's a big dude, or do you want to just lose to the Medusa Worm or the Golem Sentry? And so they're just, I mean, absolutely just great cards to have. And even though you didn't have the stall, it didn't matter, because I wasn't having any way to actually follow up and take the things out. And maybe in the end, the 2400, or excuse me, the 2300 of the Swift Birdman Joe, maybe that was actually the difference. I had Rock in the side deck and thought, should I bring these in? And I chose not to, and maybe that could have made the difference.
Buff Sphinx was just a little too strong.
Just a little bit, yeah. So guys, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Sealed Saturday. John and I both hope you guys enjoyed and had some nostalgic fun. Let's go ahead and shout out the patrons. Shoutouts to Shout1317, Moto, Cameron Smith, Chaotic Meatball, Tim00x3, Ike Iron Fang, Part 2, Pony Starkey and Musa, Dan the Man Hoban, Synchro Guy, Ole, Mystic Walk, Sylvia Wilds, Draconic, Yusuf Asin05, Cole T, Rockslide, Dollywop, Logan, Thomas, Peter Gregory, Thomas Selson, Jordan Coons, Kelvin, Iron Bladesman, Pure Ace, Jesse Wood, True Nerdgasm, Brother Paul, Chris Hood, Nehru Celeste, David Lee, Rockley325, Chat God, Sound Agent 216, Sky Rose, Dylan Hunter, John 2 Base, Brody Eastwood, Day Zero, Elias Pinero, Carlos DT, Flannel Daddy, Give Me Speed Raider, Give Me Death, Ashlyn Jensen, TC Gaming, Thanks for the Sleeves Dad, Hots for Gage, Matthew Brady, Dr. Solace, Max, Tom Russell, Gage, Just Play Watts Already, Chipotle Rice, Eric Grimes, Wayan, and Talk Dirty to Me MBT. Thank you so much for watching the video, and we will see you next time.